you can't cope because you're going to get injuries. You're going to get, people been booked too many times, so they're disqualified from playing. So I think everybody knows we Palace really need perhaps a striker, a midfielder, and and a defender. I mean, it's generally thought Mark Gay will go. Great player though he is, but he'll be out of contract at the end of this season, and Palace don't want him to go for nothing. And it was interesting at Wembley on Saturday when the announcer was announcing the teams before the game started. When he announced Mark Gay, all the Liverpool fans cheered because they obviously expect him to become a Liverpool player. And I think Liverpool, their manager, has said he does need a new central defender alongside Van Dijk. So I think it's generally reckoned that Mark Gay will go. And there still seems to be a lot of noise around the fact that Eze is wanted by, I think Tottenham have come into it, possibly Arsenal and other teams. So I would imagine he may go as well. So those two in themselves, they've got to be replaced quite apart from getting one or two new players. So that's going to be the thing. But at the moment, it's great to see Palace, who, have never been considered a top team. I think people are beginning to say, yeah, they're a good side. They're tough to beat. They've got good forwards. I mean, people like Adam Morton in the midfield, his pass for Sarr's goal on Saturday was dreamlike. It cut through the defence. It'd be brilliant. So yeah, there are some very good footballers there, and it's great times, to have had to get two trophies. I know the Community Shield it's not like the Premier League, but it's still another trophy on the back of the FA Cup. So I think it's, as I say, good times to be a Palace fan.
Yeah, obviously, 'cause you're just going from strength to strength. You just
it seems to be.
Yeah, you are. So I'm very optimistic about this season coming up now for Palace, because whether you lose Eze and Mark Gay, I don't think it make that much difference. Do we know if Adam Walton is staying or going? Do we know?
Yeah, no. At the end of the day, no one knows who may go or stay. Yeah. But I'm sure Walton was quoted recently as saying that he wants another season at Palace at least. Because he thinks that we're in Europe and we're developing a very good side. And don't forget, he only came to Palace just over a year ago. Or perhaps at the end of the previous season, and he's developed really well. He had a long injury. Well, it wasn't an injury. He had to have an operation last season, which kept him out for 2 or 3 months. But he's not really been injured much apart from that. It's interesting. He did say he was interviewed after the game on the pitch on Sunday, and he said, well, at least I can really appreciate. I've just been up to get my medal, and we held the shield up. He said, but after the cup final, he said, I missed it all because he was concussed. He got concussion towards the end. And he said, I have no memory of the game finishing and winning. But he said, so I'm really sort of savouring this. But I think, and I've read as well a couple of times that other teams are quite clearly looking at him, like Liverpool, I think Newcastle, but I think, and a couple of foreign teams as well. But I think the consensus seems to be from the journalists, they say they think these teams, they want to see him have a more extended run, because he did have a break for that operation, just to make sure he's not going to be injury prone and stuff like that. But he's a real class act. Excuse me, he's a real good player. So again, I'd like to think if we can have another very good season, because last season we had a poor start, because 4 or 5 of the team were late back from the... because 4 or 5 of the team were late back from the World Cup. So they came back, they hadn't had a pre-season, they were tired, and we had a pretty poor start. But if we'd had the start that we were for the rest of the season, we would have finished probably 6th or 7th. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it could be a good season. And if it is, I mean, already I think the way Palace have clearly improved under
Mm.
Glasner and the
Yeah.
future looks good. I think there's far more chance that decent play, really good players, would relish a transfer. If Palace come in for someone, they wouldn't think, well, Palace is always bottom half. I think now there's a real thing around the club which could attract the better players.
Yeah.
And I'm confident that will happen. So, yeah, this transfer window, I think it closes on September the 1st.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see who we hopefully get as a transfer or transfers.
Yeah, well, I've got high hopes for a Palace doing because you've had a poor start to this season, then you recover, then now they've robbed you of this opportunity of
Yeah,
being
yeah.
in the so Palace is going to be in the what's it called, the conference, Europa
The
Conference League.
conference.
That what it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah.
Do we know who's taking your place in the Europa League?
Who we're playing?
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
who's taking your place in the Europa League?
That's Nottingham Forest, and
Right,
it's
okay, yeah.
interesting because the I believe the first home game on
Right.
Sunday, I think it's Sunday week, might be the week after that,
Yeah.
but the week after that, the first home game is against who? Nottingham Forest.
All
Now,
right.
I don't think the fans at Palace. We've got nothing particularly against the Forest fans,
Yeah.
or for that matter, the Forest team. But their chairman, their Greek chairman, who actually he was the guy who seemed to have a go at Nuno. Do you
Oh
remember in that
yeah.
match
Yeah, I
towards the end of
remember
the
him. Yeah.
season, he seemed to have a go at him on the pitch. So
Yeah.
he's quite a character by the sound of it and by the looks of it.
Yeah.
But he went to UEFA going back a few weeks, really saying, "Oh, they should not be in the Europa League. We should be there." Blah blah. He really hammered the point, and of course, I don't think UEFA have done that to satisfy him, but
No.
that's how it's turned out. So it might be quite an interesting if he turns up for that game against Palace, our first home game. He might get an interesting reception from the crowd. And I think we
Yeah.
can predict exactly, but I can totally understand.